Guys, what is going on? My name is Joe, aka Cap.
I'm Dom, not Mysterio.
Got benched.
And I'm Francis.
And this is the Push Wrestlemania Go Home Prediction Show Extravaganza.
Punctuated for emphasis. Yeah.
That's right, folks. This is the Push Prediction Go Home Show, whatever you want to call it, right before the mother of all PLEs, WrestleMania 41.
My favorite time
Guys,
of year.
happy WrestleMania week.
Falling on Easter Sunday.
And 420.
I was not going to allude to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good day.
There's a whole lot of things happening on Sunday, man. Jesus Christ.
That's like 3 different holidays at once.
It really is. It really is. So, we are not even going to waste any time. We got a couple of stories to go into first before we, really get into the meat and potatoes of this show, of this episode. So, before anything else, Scott, I hear you've got some grievances. So, basically another day.
One of them's one of them's not going to shock you because I went off on them before. One of them's really going to shock you. It's going to be worse than me going off on Seth.
Oh dear God! All right, here we go. Time for a Scott take.
Oh, it's
John Cena. The past couple of weeks, when I have seen you in on the mic, expressing your character and everything, it has literally been the worst acting I have ever seen in my entire life. I don't know where this all came from, that you lost this talent when you came back, but the only thing I expect you to lose talent in is your wrestling because of your age, not your acting. I would think that you would have learned something by being an actor and being in those movies. But my God, when I think it was the most recent one, I just could not fucking I was like 5-10 seconds into him hearing him, and I had to shut it off because I was like, I could not hear it. It was bothering the shit out of me. How bad he was acting.
His Cody segment, the last Cody segment.
I think it was the last segment he went up because I don't think he came up last Monday night.
So
He's probably saying it for Friday.
You're talking about him and Cody doing promos.
Yeah, like he came up first, and he was just when he started doing his promo, it was oh God, it was terrible. It was like he was learning to act for the first time.
All right, I mean, so you guys probably talked about that segment while I was away, so I feel like everybody is aware.
That was like the off week.
That was the all right. So we might as well talk a little bit about this. Let's talk about that segment a little bit. How'd you all feel about that?
I feel like I'm the only one who's enjoying the current heel run of Cena, so I'm the odd man out again, as it were. Out of all the promos they've done, I do like the one where Cody brought all the belts throughout history back. That was really cool. You have to admit, that was a cool promo when Cody brought out all the belts.
That was pretty cool, yeah. But as far as like that segment between John and Cody, like what help us figure this out, Francis, because it does seem like you're the odd man out when it comes to this. Help us figure this out, man. What is it that you're seeing that we're not?
Well, for me personally, it all comes back to what he said the first night he appeared after the heel turn, and that he's been wanting to do this his way for years, but he kept getting bogged down by Vince's era of creative, and now he's finally going all out on being the heel he wants to be, and people still expect him to live up to their standards, which is going against the very point of the heel turn. That part I understand. The shaky acting, Cena has always been critiquing his promos at time to time, screeching like he's about to deliver an exorcism, and that's been going on long before he did that, before he turned heel. But if you're, I was saving this for when we do the predictions, but if you guys aren't on the heel turn express now, then there's nothing else I can really say to get you on it. I think he's totally justified in going in full-on injustice.
It's nothing to do with the character. And I think I explained this a couple weeks ago. I can't go after John Cena as his character because he's made it to a point where you can't really reply to him because it all circles back to expressing expressing what he means. So I'm gonna start attacking him on an outer standpoint of where's like you're being professional, but you're also like it's bad. It's sounding bad. You're like your emotions aren't into it. Your promos are repetitive. You're the thing that stays and the thing I expect the only thing to stay during his promo is the zingers, is the one-liners that really hurt the other character. Like those I expect all the time, and Cena's always been able to do stuff like that. But when it comes to like an entertainment standpoint, I can't get into it because it's like you're making it really hard for me to like you when you're not. I mean, like
He's
you're
not
like
explaining it in a good way.
I understand not changing anything for the fans, but you need like it's getting like it's at a point to me. It's like you need it's just a little bit to get someone interested because it's not going to be enough that you're going to be just throwing one-liners, and then I mean to be honest, if this match is going to be a bit, it's going to be going on for a bit. Cena really hasn't lately been, on the stamina side on these matches. He gets really winded. I mean, the strength is always still there, but it's just like
Yeah,
he
he's
can't go like he could in 2015.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah,
He's not
so
in the
it's
same ring shape as he used to. But
So
so you also feel like you're worried a bit.
yeah, Dom, go ahead. Then I'll talk after. But go ahead, Dom.
no, I mean I get it because I've been kind of indifferent to his promos as of late, because they all seem to be very repetitive. They're like Scott said, they're just like the same shit over and over again. That's whatever. I feel like this match didn't build the way I kind of wanted it to. I feel like Cody's been putting in a lot of the work there for that. Other than that, but it doesn't help that Cena's not on TV every week. So it's like
That was
a lot of the burden falls to Cody to build the match with someone who's not there, and I get that's the point. That's like the whole point that Cena's trying to do is babyface Cena would have been there every week. Heel Cena doesn't show up every week because
He's
that's
the evil part-timer now.
yeah, exactly.
so. Let me ask.
We're also
this.
tired. Sorry, Kat, but we're also tired of it because we've had it for the past 5 years with Roman and Brock
No, I
Lesnar
know, but
of
that's
barely showing up,
the whole
and
point.
then we're about to see it, and we're kind of gonna, just like Dom's saying, like we're gonna see it again. John Cena is gonna be around like twice a month or once a month,
But
and it's gonna be like, where's the championship again?
He even
So hold
said
on,
that that's what he wanted to do in the first place. Was he wanted to be that guy that only showed up like once or twice a month and only wrestled at pay-per-views, And it's
So
like
let me ask the two. Let me ask the two.
You're too late.
Then, yes, this is. I'll give this thought first. I've had some time to digest, heel Cena. And I think a big problem that I'm personally having with it is John Cena, for our entire lives, basically, has been the babyface. He's been the face of the company. He's been the babyface.
Yeah.
Whether you liked him, whether you booed him, all that stuff. He's been the ultimate
franchise player.
He's been like the ultimate good guy.
Yeah.
So I think that there was an expectation that whenever John turned heel, if John ever turned heel, that it was going to be this almost like this recreation of the wheel sort of moment.
Yeah.
Basically. And I think a disappointment that I've personally had with it is the fact that this is very repetitive from, almost every single like major like top ticket heel turn, you know?
Yeah.
It feels very same. It feels very safe. It feels very repetitive. As far as the Cody and John Cena segment, I will say, I will give it this. That segment, that promo between the two of them was probably the best segment that they've had throughout this entire thing. That was the best one. Personally for me at least. John did get those shots in. I know that there are a lot of people in the IWC that feel like, you know, he was holding back or something like that. I don't think he was.
I feel like
I don't get that same feeling. I don't feel like he was holding back during that
no,
segment. I don't feel
Cena
like he was.
didn't hold back. Just Cody didn't deliver as much. He didn't meet the level.
Mm.
But here's the thing, I feel like he did, though. He didn't. Oh, you know, I feel like everybody was expecting whenever John and Cody were going to have their promo segment that it was going to be very similar to the Roman Reigns segment back in 2017, where he basically flustered him. He flustered him, and he, you know,
He
basically
punked him out.
And I think that's what people were expecting. I think that they were expecting Cody to get so frustrated that, you know, he wouldn't even be able to respond. They were expecting something similar to what happened with Roman. But that didn't happen. That's not what happened. It didn't happen. And thank God it didn't happen, because you can't have, you know, you can't have a consistent problem of your top guy being so flustered by John that he can't even talk afterwards.
No, but you know
And
what? That just shows as a testament to Cody that he's better.
And so I think, I liked seeing that, and that's part of the reason why I think that that was the strongest point so far, because that could have very easily went terribly.
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully, you know, it didn't, and it was working too. Like, John was getting the fans on his side during that promo, which is obviously something you don't want your heel to be getting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but when
Cody,
it's John Cena, it's like kind of inevitable.
well, yeah. But Cody, I think, specifically did a very good job of regaining control of the situation, you know? He got the crowd back on his side at the end of that. And I think that was I think that was a critical point, and I'm glad to have seen it. But I'll ask this one more question before we move on to the next story. You guys made mention of the fact that John has not been very, let's say, attentive during this road to WrestleMania. Do we feel like if he was there every week, or at least there was some sort of video package with him talking or something like that, do we feel like that would have made this better?
It would have improved on various fields, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go yes, only because of the fact of, like I said, when he's not there, Cody is trying to build a feud by himself.
Yeah.
So at least then, if he was there, he could have had something to add to
Even
it.
if he, I would even liked it if Cena made like giant, like during like a little shot of a promo, John Cena shows up on the jumbotron and he just cuts a promo and then dips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. Just to see like a little snippet gone, and then that's it. And then Cody can come out right after and respond and be like, are you kidding? And like go do his
he
like
can go off and say some shit.
his thing.
No, I agree.
You know what I think would have really been cool? Have him do a sit down with Michael Cole. Because if you guys remember, look this
That would be kind of
so personally at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I mean,
He took that shit to heart.
For all we know, they could do that on Friday. There's still one more TV episode before Mania.
I feel like that has to happen.
I'm surprised it hasn't.
I am too, to be honest.
Yeah.
Michael Cole has called almost every John Cena match.
Ever.
Almost every single one. That's not even a joke. He's called almost every single one.
Mm-hmm.
This is a JR Stone Cold type relationship that he has.
You son of a bitch! Tell me why!
So I feel like a segment between him and Cole would have really helped. Would have really helped this this turn. And I don't understand why that wasn't thought of.
No, because it could still happen, but if it does, it needs to end with him AAing Michael Cole just to emphasize, oh my god, he's gone off the deep end.
Either that or put him in the STF.
Yeah. But
maybe hit him with the five knuckle shuffle.
Yeah. Anyway, I say let's
move
on.
Moving right along.
So the last one, and the last one's surprising, but my Scott takes holds no punches to anybody, no matter how much I love them. The Undertaker. Your comment on LGF of saying to Evander Holyfield's son that you would rip off his chain and earrings during the match is really, really excessive. Like, there is countless wrestlers who came in, wore chains all the time. It's not a big deal. It wasn't like it was long and flashy. It was an extremely tight chain that was just around his neck, and it was earrings, not big, crazy rocket earrings, just regular earrings. It's kind of offensive that you would get pissed off over something like that and make tiny little critiques. That's not a big deal at all. Like, really, like, that was like,
I mean,
too much.
Honestly, it's not surprising to me. Undertaker has been.
He's old school. It's not just the name of one of his moves.
It's very well known that he does not like people wearing jewelry in the ring.
So then I'm assuming he had a problem with Jeff Hardy, right?
Jeff didn't wear that much jewelry.
He had
Jeff
the
only
gauges.
wore
He had the gauges.
Yeah.
That was about it. But
yeah.
But Jeff never wrestled with his gauges in. You notice that?
Yeah.
He always takes them out when he wrestles.
And he took the Hardy Boys necklace off. He only wore that at
the necklace is
the
just
entrance.
to come in for the entrance. He takes it off when he takes his shirt.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. Taker, I'm not shocked. Like I said, that's like a very old school thing to be like, and you know, it's also a safety thing.
Yeah.
Too.
What if something gets
you
hooked
can
into
get
something?
yourself fucking hurt while wearing jewelry like that in a ring.
Yeah, that's kind of like a grievance I have with baseball players too.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like it's not one of the things I don't necessarily agree with it, but I see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
You know, for me personally, I'm always, I was always like, granted, I don't wear jewelry like that, but like, I kind of shared a similar mindset with that. Like, I wouldn't wear a chain in the ring only because, like, it can get caught up on something and you can hurt your neck. Or it's like it breaks and bumping on it sucks.
Yeah.
Things like that. It's another variable for a bad mistake to happen. Is all I'm saying. So I get where you're coming from, Scott. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but at the same time, I also agree with Taker on that. Like, especially if you're new, you should not be wearing jewelry in the ring.
Yeah, not when you're competing anyway.
Unless it's absolutely integral to the fucking match or your character, but 9 times out of 10, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm. First of all, I didn't realize that was Evander Holyfield's kid. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I had no clue that
Same.
he was even there.
But he was a boxer, to be honest.
I still need to.
I mean, I could
watch.
I could be wrong, but then the video that I saw would have told me a lie. But
anyway,
yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm somebody that does wear jewelry. I've got my chains, I've got my bead bracelets that you guys see me wear all the time.
Really, I never noticed,
etc. Then you don't pay much attention to your friends, then, Francis. Crying so loud his audio was peaking. Um, but anyway, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree. I see where. Well, I see where he's coming from.
We
I
got our
don't.
TikTok for tomorrow.
I don't feel like it's that big of a deal, but like, you know, it wouldn't kill you not to wear the necklace.
Yeah, it's old school sensibilities. Nothing wrong with that. I'm a neck.
And the person that actually had a good part, he was like, I mean, he's like Stone Cold had a neck of earrings, but he was also, but for me, Stone Cold was a little too much. But he had a good one, which was Montez Ford.
Yeah.
True.
When he first came in, he was wearing all types of jewelry in there.
Yeah.
Was.
Well, yeah,
Nobody
but
said a thing then.
I don't think
I
he
mean,
never wrestled
competes
Taker.
wearing it though.
I mean, like, you know, how many people like are wrestling with like nose rings, CM Punk had like his lip piercing.
I don't think Austin wrestled with his chain on, did he?
There was a time, I think. There was a couple of
Didn't
times.
not Ken Shamrock? What was Heidenreich?
Heinrich didn't have anything. It might have been Ken Shamrock.
Didn't he have like a necklace or something?
I feel like there were if that is the case,
Wait,
I feel
was
like
it
there were
Heinrich?
a lot more issues with Heidenreich than
A-Train.
him wearing jewelry.
A-Train was a hazard on his back hair alone.
A-Train had another one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But-
not much else to say here. You know, kind of an old man
Yeah.
yelling at that situation.
Yeah.
But you know, just sometimes when the old man yells at the cloud, there's a couple of good points in there. Anyway, moving on. I believe it is time for Francis.
What's up?
Yes.
Did you have something?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. So, earlier this week on his Instagram, The Rock posted a picture of him trying to solve a Rubik's Cube puzzle while wearing a New Japan Pro Wrestling t-shirt.
Yeah, what was that?
A lot of people are trying to draw their own conclusions. Some saying that, oh, WWE is going to try and partner up with New Japan like they did with TNA, which, God, that would make me very happy, boy.
I mean, if anybody can do it, TKO could. I mean, it's no longer.
AEW did it. Why the fuck?
Yeah.
There could possibly do a Forbidden Door WWE New Japan,
Oh my God.
which
Bro, I know who would be perfect to go to New Japan. El Grande Americano, Francis.
oh my
Yeah,
God.
let's get El
We're gonna
Grande
talk about that
Americano
later.
and the best of the Super Juniors.
Yeah, we're
Right.
gonna-
Domination. Just
Yeah.
putting them in there.
Yeah, then he can use that to build up to his match against Chad Gable.
We're gonna
Cap,
talk
did
about
you
that
know
later.
he was born in the Gulf of America?
I'm
Oh, you
telling
mean Chad? No, I heard Chad was born in like Pittsburgh or
I
something
thought
like
it was
that.
Minnesota.
why are we talking about Chad? We're
They got
talking about
they got in trouble. They got in trouble for it, but they first used he first said in the Gulf of America, and then they got yelled at.
It doesn't
And
matter.
then they
Chad
switched.
was born in Minnesota.
It was
Anyway, so.
But
I
why
know,
are
I
we
just know
talking
it
about
pissed off
Chad?
Cap.
We're talking about El Grande Americano.
Oh my God! Because it's Chad.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
bro, Chad has been sick.
If
What
it
are
was
you-
Chad,
he hasn't
it
been
would
well.
have
What are you
said
talking about?
Chad
He's been on
Gable.
TV. He was on TV last week.
He was on
Yeah.
TV for the love of God. He was on TV for that bit they did with Burt Kreischer a couple of weeks ago.
Forgot about that.
I did too. But yeah, whether or not this is going to be leading to a partnership between WWE or The Rock was just being nice has yet to be seen. Either way, it was very much appreciated by New Japan, who retweeted the image and some old footage of Rock wrestling in Japan. Well, he didn't show up in the promotion. It was just when WWE was on tour back in the Attitude Era.
Listen, regardless to if it does lead to something, I think that we can all agree Forbidden Door WWE New Japan would
Yeah.
go so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
No. I guarantee you there's a
Fucking
few
do.
guys who wouldn't mind showing up in the G1 tournament.
There is
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
a number of people could show up in the G1 tournament. A couple of them could show up in King of the Ring tournaments,
That'd
maybe.
be cool.
Or the Royal Rumble.
we can probably get a certain wrestler to come who we would never think that would want to go to WWE.
Would you happen
There
to
are
be
a
talking
few.
about Gabe Kidd?
Kenny?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a smart way of doing it. Oh my God, we could get Gabe Kidd in WWE as well.
Yes, that would be great.
Yo, the promos between Gabe Kidd and Punk, Gabe Kidd, Paul Heyman guy,
Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
God.
That would be insane.
that would.
And I mean, we said it before. There have been those talks about Jeff Cobb going to WWE. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think it would be cool.
It's too early to tell. It's too soon to know. But I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on it. Now, having got that out of the way, gentlemen, got
it
some
is
handy dandy
time.
for our wildly extended main event of this podcast.
I guess you
I'm
could
sorry,
say
did I
it's time to play the
correctly?
game.
There's going to be like 18 hours of content this week.
I think between the
Between the
pre-show and post-show, yes. Like
Yeah.
pre-show, actual
Merciful
card,
God.
post-show, yeah. But like the
Thank
post-show,
God they split it up to 2 nights.
well, it's also because it's like the pre-show and the post-show are an hour each, respectively, and that's over 2 nights, so that's 4 hours alone.
True. Does that mean that there's going to... That means like...
There's more than 5
there's
matches per
gonna be,
night.
like 8 hours of actual wrestling.
No, it's going to be probably
There's gonna-
closer to...
There's going to be 7 matches per night.
yeah, so it's
One night's
probably,
going to have 6 matches, the other's going to have 7.
Yeah, I think night 1 has the most.
Yeah. It's
Speaking
13
of,
altogether.
Yep, let's
let's get
folks.
it going. First match on the card that I can see here. This is straight from CBS Sports website. First match on the card is the World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther versus Scott's favorite wrestler in the whole wide world and his favorite Samoan, Jey Uso.
All right, so...
Nah, that's Rikishi. That's Rikishi.
So, anyway, before we get into our predictions, I feel like I have a vibe as to the answer to this question, but I will present this question to the table at least anyway. It's been already foretold that night 1, the main event's going to be the triple threat match between Roman, Rollins, and Punk.
Yep.
There are certain people that feel like, Jay might have gotten a little fleeced doing that to them.
Yeah. I mean, if I were him, I would be pissed.
Is he kind of getting finessed here?
I mean, if he's gonna open the show,
Which he probably is.
probably is. I would be pissed if I were him. But at the same time, you're still arguably gonna have you have potential to have one of the best matches of the night. The potential, Scott, potential. And I'm saying that it will be.
All right.
All I'm saying is
You can't even say potential. That's even a stretch. That's even going a big stretch of saying potential.
listen, you never know. You never know.
You never know, dude. Jesus.
No.
First of all, I
Jay
don't
has-
understand why you want this match to tank so badly. It does have...
I don't want it to tank badly. It's going to tank. We're talking about a wrestler. I'm going to be truly honest here.
You
And
guys wanna
Gunther's my
talk about
favorite
me being
wrestler.
negative.
I'm going to be truly honest about this match. And then this is why I've been so confident and so it's obvious that this match is going to be boring. It's going to be terrible to watch. Because Gunther, I love Gunther. He's my favorite wrestler. Gunther's wrestling feeds off of the other wrestler. If the other wrestler can't give him also a great vibe and performance, it's not going to go well. The vibe, yes, but Jey Uso doesn't have the wrestling capacity to do it. He has 4 movesets. That is not going to help when all we see is a drop kick from Gunther, a slap from Gunther, and a big boot. And then all we see from Jey Uso is a terrible uppercut, a repetitive super kick, a miserable spear, and him jumping off the top rope. It's not going to be entertaining. It's not.
Can I ask you this question? because you pointed something out that I want to challenge you on this for a minute. Would you say you said that Gunther feeds off of his opponent, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that Jey Uso is good at selling moves?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's what actually, it's not the offense of Jey that's going to matter as to whether or not Gunther looks good in this match. It's how well he can sell.
Yeah, but
No, but no.
this is
Hold on.
WWE.
I
Yeah,
no.
but this is WWE, and not only WWE, it's Wrestlemania. It's like mandatory that you should be able to sell your opponent's moves, especially the grandest stages of the stage of them all.
Okay.
But
Exactly, something that you just
the fact
admitted
that
Jey can do.
the fact that we're gonna have the fact that we're gonna have all this wrestling, all these wrestlers that have a huge move set, and then all we get to look forward to on this move is the same 7 moves out of the 2 people, and you think that's going to be fun to watch? It's never been fun to watch. This match has happened 3 times, and it was good once, and that was the first match. That was it. Other times it was boring.
Okay. Scott, I get where you're coming from. I kind of agree. Hear me out.
Me or Scott?
Both of you. Here's my thing. I agree with Scott in the sense of Gunther has a very specific wrestling style, right? He's very much like a mat wrestler. My only thing is with someone who doesn't maybe produce as much offense and can't have a good back and forth, the match seems very one-sided in Gunther's aspect, right? That's where the last Jey Uso match kind of fell. It was very one-sided, and it was just boring. The first match was great because they had a decent back and forth. Now, the only reason I said there's potential that they could have a good match, like a really good match, is if Jey steps up, takes it up a notch and really like digs deep and puts on a fucking banger of a match with Gunther, which is possible because a couple weeks ago I know we were talking about it and we were saying how the build to the main event, the whole Jey Uso versus Gunther thing was boring as shit because it was just every week was the same thing. It was Gunther was coming out, choking Jey out, and that was it. But now with with Jimmy getting involved in the whole thing, and like what happened 2 weeks ago, where Gunther beat the ever living fuck out of Jimmy Uso, and Jey just had to sit there and watch because he was like handcuffed to the turnbuckle. That could step up could step up the intensity that's needed, is what I'm saying. So there's your potential. Now I'm actually invested in this fucking match because they made it personal. Gunther made it personal to Jey, and it wasn't
the
just.
The promos definitely shot up.
Yeah.
As time went on, they definitely got so much better. And I'll agree with that one.
One thing, the following week after that match, which I agree, that match was a catalyst that this rivalry needed, that this story needed. The week after, Jey put on probably one of the best promos I've seen out of him.
Absolutely.
Ever. He not only did he silence the crowd yeeting after every set, he silenced that after a while. And he did it without...
I was fucking dumbfounded when I watched that promo. I was like, holy shit. I'm interested now. You caught my attention.
That single-handedly, that promo, I think, saved all of this.
100%.
Those 2 weeks saved this entire thing.
Yeah.
I was not looking forward to this. Those 2 weeks alone, that saved this entire thing for me. And they did it at the exact perfect time.
Yeah.
There was maybe 2-3 weeks left till Mania. This feud basically had no more gas in it at that point, and they refilled that tank with 2 phenomenal weeks.
Yeah.
And those segments weren't even the main event of those nights.
No, I think last week it was Jay's promo opened the show.
Yeah.
But My point being, if Jey Uso could take that intensity that he put into that promo last week and put that in his match with Gunther, the match is going to be good.
It's going to be phenomenal.
That's all I'm saying.
Jey Uso
AJ Styles.
has everything. He's got the fans. He's got the character. He's got the mic skills. When he wants them, he's got the mic skills.
Eh.
If
Jimmy's
he
better.
take all
It
of
depends. It really all depends.
It flip flops.
that and put it towards his wrestling, this is going to be a phenomenal match. I don't listen to what the haters say. The haters specifically right there. Right
This
underneath
one in the
me.
bottom
Gonna
left
suck.
corner.
There he is.
And I'm gonna enjoy it when next week happens. I'm gonna
Okay.
enjoy it. The sucking.
So, Scott, I
Enjoy
think
every
it's safe to say that you're going for
So
Gunther.
who do you want to win, Scott?
Who's your prediction?
Well,
to
who I
win?
want to win is Gunther, but who I'm predicting to win is Jay because I'm also not stupid.
Okay. I put you down prematurely for Gunther.
No, predictions are different than what my feelings are.
Yeah.
Do you want
Yeah,
me
my
to add any caveats?
That's why I've been failing the second half of this prediction game because I went with feelings. In the first half, I went with what I knowledgeably know.
Do you want me to add any bonus
Bonus
points
bets?
or for some?
No, I don't think Jimmy's
Okay.
going to come in, so I don't think anything else is going to happen.
My
All
prediction is also my prediction is Jay. I do believe Jay is walking out world heavyweight champion.
And Sir Dominique?
Never call me that again. First off, yeah, I'm gonna go with Jay.
Okay. So I'm the only one who put Gunther.
About that.
What?
No, I'm just saying, Dom. You seemed like you were really thinking about that one.
He was.
I'm still kind of on the fence on where they want to go with this. Like, all signs, honestly, are pointing towards Jay. But
I hope I'm wrong
I
about this.
just have like this little
Inkling.
itch in the back of my head that's saying, but what if Gunther wins and just shuts Jay down? Like, but because it's like, if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago who I thought was winning that match, I would have 100% said Gunther because I didn't think that WWE had the faith in Jay to do it. But after his past 2 weeks of promos, he's really kind of shown up for that. So I'm gonna go with Jay,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Why Gunther?
So I've been having the same feeling that Dom has been having, that like despite Jay building up all this momentum and like being on this ride that all lets you know that he's going to be on the top, the fact that like we mentioned earlier, he's opening the show as opposed to closing either one of the nights, and B, that sinking feeling, I feel like they're not gonna execute it with Jay yet. I don't know why. I just feel like they're going to give it to Gunther.
I mean, he needs to have a good like mid-card title run first before he gets a big championship.
Yeah. Maybe keep the Intercontinental belt on him for longer than a couple of weeks.
Well,
Okay,
we'll see.
I understand your take, Francis. I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave it on this. If Jey Uso does not win the title this weekend, I
I'll
feel
be
like
so
that
happy.
may effectively kill this push.
If he doesn't, exactly. If he doesn't win here,
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Should not get another title match against Gunther.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
100.
That needs to
Yeah.
done. Because any momentum that you built is gone. The only way
Yeah.
he should win, if he doesn't win at Mania, the only way he should win is Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, at that point, and I'm being serious when I say this. If he does not win this weekend, if he does not leave WrestleMania the World Heavyweight Champion, that kills this main event push that he's on.
100%.
And I don't know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
happened for him
I
to
also
get
I also can't see a Royal Rumble winner losing twice the past 3 years.
I mean, crazier things have
It's
happened.
not back to back.
Crazier things have happened.
It's not the back to back, but to have the Rumble winner lose.
Nah, I
Mania,
gotcha.
It's not. It's not.
It's
I'm
not
sure
gonna
if we
look
really comb through all of wrestling's history, we can find that it's happened a couple of times. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
I can think
next-
of two
next-
that happened in the same year. Fucking Shinsuke Nakamura and Asuka
Oh god, that killed me.
in the same year. Won the
Oh,
Royal
2018.
Rumble
That's not good.
and then lost in
Same
the main
night.
event of WrestleMania on the same night. Like
Asuka lost to Charlotte and Nakamura lost to AJ.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
And
I
that really
remember
pissed me off because Charlotte then dropped the title to Carmella, who cashed in her Money in the Bank contract the next night on Raw.
Maybe we'll talk about that on a different episode.
Yeah. But anyway,
Let's
Yeah.
talk about
next
match.
next match on the card. We have Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
Oh yes, my favorite match of this entire card. It's finally to show Rey Mysterio that El Grande Americano is who he is, and I'm sorry, Rey, but you're going to lose. It's not Chad. We've literally seen them in the same area at the same time, Cap.
If it
He was in an
Chad
interview
Gable,
and he
Cap,
saw him getting kicked out the building at the same time.
let me ask you a question, Cap. If it is Chad Gable, then wouldn't the nameplate have said Chad Gable? Fucking.
First of all, don't do that. I can.
It's bad
I
for
heard
the
the
microphone.
static
I
as you
heard.
hit your
I
headphones.
heard your microphone just shatter a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, can I? I'm just gonna throw a little something out there that's gonna just shatter your entire logic here.
Yeah. What's that?
Why does El Grande Americano and Chad Gable have the same exact Olympic tattoo in the same exact spot on the back of his neck?
They.
Shut up. Exactly.
Yeah, there we go.
They.
No.
Tattoos
There's
don't
videos
lie.
of-
Scott, back me up here.
No, that he can't. He knows he's lost. He knows he's
All right.
done.
All right.
No,
Yes.
because there's videos of him wrestling without that back tattoo.
He's
Okay,
a-
well he had it
it's-
this week on Raw. So where's your fucking logic there?
It's subterfuge. It's all subterfuge.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
All
pulling
right,
out
Francis.
big boy words.
Spell it. Spell
All right,
subterfuge.
Francis, stop
I fucking bet you
blabbering like
can't.
an idiot for a minute.
Hold on. SUBTUB
No,
ER
no,
SUBTUBF.
that is not. No,
All right.
thank you.
So much later than it was supposed to. That was 15 letters, and then you finally put the F in there.
It was 15 letters, and not one of them were right.
You had the fucking
That
first
was-
three right, and that was about it.
All right. DUMEASS. Who do you got?
Oh, it's
Francis.
fucking Ray. Oh, it's fucking Ray.
What?
Ray's winning.
I'm honestly going for El Grande Americano. I really think this is going to be a really big fuck you to Rey Mysterio. I really hope it is.
I understand why Scott thinks this because he's a troll, but like,
No, you know what the sad part is? I could see it happening. I could
God.
see. No. Hear me out. I could see them
Scott,
having.
the only other adult in the room.
Shut up.
Explain this to me.
I could see how El Grande Americano. They could have El Grande Americano win at Mania, and then at Backlash they could have a mask versus mask match where Ray will win.
I'm surprised they didn't do that for Mania.
And here's the big thing of why El Grande Americano can win. It's not like Rey Mysterio can have backup because El Grande Americano has backup.
Yeah, Chad Gable.
Chad Gable's group is willing to back him up in this scenario. So it's like
Yeah.
I wonder why they're so loyal towards him.
because they do what Chad Gable does, because Chad Gable's trying to lead them into victory.
It's also because El Grande Americo is loyal to Chad Gable. That's why he has a matching tattoo to show solidarity. Another word I totally know how to spell.
All right. There we go.
I'm
right.
you found the one together. That's the one he got.
Dom's just smiling in the darkness.
Francis is in front of Dom's eyes. He can't handle it.
All right,
You guys are fucking stupid.
so Francis, you say Ray.
It's gonna be Ray. They're gonna build up to a fucking comedy spot. I feel it.
Scott, Dom, you both said Chad.
No, I never predicted that El Grande Americano would win. I said I could see how they would make him win.
All right,
My
so then who's your
prediction, my prediction is Rey Mysterio, but I'm gonna put in a bonus bet that El Grande Americano will be unmasked and exposed as Chad Gable in the match.
All right.
God, I hope there's a mess for his
No,
match.
actually, no.
I really hope there is one.
No, never mind.
Just so I can get that win.
All right, so here's.
So you want me to take your bonus point off?
No, leave it.
Okay.
Here's my take on it. First of all, damn you WWE for making this happen, because Rey Mysterio is one of my favorite. He was one of my top 5 favorite wrestlers growing up. I love Rey Mysterio, and for the past 2 WrestleManias, you have given him, in what is my mind, my least favorite match on the WrestleMania card. That's right, his tag team match last year with, I think it was Andrade.
It was with Andrade.
Dominic and
Santos, right?
Santos.
Yeah.
That was my least favorite match on that card last year.
Well, it sucks to suck, I guess.
I thought that the match was pointless. The Philadelphia Eagle
Street fight.
Philadelphia Eagle interruption in the match was stupid and pointless to me.
You're just saying that because you're a Giants fan and you can't be happy because the Eagles are involved.
I guarantee if Daniel Jones showed up in a Rey Mysterio match, we'd be talking about a different story.
No, because he probably missed the fucking ring entirely.
He probably would. Also, that wouldn't have been a guarantee, but you know what is? This. You should have never told me how to do that, by the way.
Alright, so what are you guys going for?
Francis, he's just upset because the Devils scored more goals at MetLife Stadium than Daniel Jones threw touchdowns.
Oh, you are so fortunate that I can't disconnect you right now.
Ooh.
Hey, Dom, we made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
hold on. Before anything else. All right,
there we go. All right, Cap,
so
what's your prediction?
Yeah, I caught it in time. I'm so happy. I didn't want to go back and click it. I really enjoyed voice on time. That was great. I'm happy.
This match, here's my thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a cynical, bitter adult. This is so stupid.
It is stupid, but it's fucking funny as hell.
So freaking
It's
stupid.
funny. It's fucking funny. And the sooner you learn that and laugh with the rest of us, the sooner you will be freed from the shackles.
You know what? Here's the thing. You're absolutely correct, Francis. People do find it funny. And that's why I think Chad's going to win.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but Chad's not in this match.
Chad's not in the fucking match.
I don't know who this Chad Gable is, but he's not in WrestleMania. It's unfortunate, but he's not wrestling Chad.
No, you know what's going to be really fucking funny? What's going to be really fucking funny is that we're all going to be wind up being wrong somehow, and El Grande Americano is going to be unmasked, and it's going to be some random schmuck from NXT.
No, it's going to be Kurt Angle.
Oh, God.
Just imagine it was Kurt the whole time.
Joke's on you, it's Hulk Hogan.
Oh, God. It's been Mr. America this whole time.
Joke's on you, it's Del Wilkins, the fucking Patriot.
No, you know what? Honestly, I'm actually really upset that it's not El Grande Americano versus El Generico.
Well, El Generico retired to go raise orphans in Mexico. So.
True. This is true. Anyway,
and I'm pretty sure Chad Gable got killed by the Wyatt Six. That's why we haven't seen him in a while.
We literally saw him on TV last week.
Francis, who are you going for?
I'm going for Ray.
So anyway,
Dom and I are going for Ray, and Cap and Scott are going for EGA.
Yeah. Anyway, Chad's gonna win.
EGA, I like that actually.
Yeah, EGA.
Does
Dom,
anyone
what's
else
the
hear
next
it?
match?
Okay, there he goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear
I
him
was
at
gonna say
all.
your audio cut out for a second. I was like,
Yeah.
does anyone else hear him, or am I just having a stroke?
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, the next match on the the next match on the card is the World Tag Team Championship match. Finally, a fucking tag team title match at WrestleMania. The War Raiders versus the New Day.
Okay, so before we get into our predictions, I really need to make this point. I feel like this is not controversial to say. The New Day have kind of lost all steam at this point. They had one of the most surprising, one of the most incredible heel turns I think I've ever seen late last year.
And they just did nothing with it?
A couple of times. It might have been on a couple of our top fives, 2024. It might have been on somebody's top five.
It definitely was for me. It was definitely one of my top 5 moments for 24.
Yeah. By the way, y'all should watch that on our YouTube channel at the Push Wrestling. By the way,
Nice plug.
But anyway, they have just lost all steam after that because nothing happened really afterwards.
Yeah.
Are you saying it's too little too late?
Not too little too late, but...
And I think at this point, like, by default, they're getting tag team title matches because there's like 3 tag teams on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. SmackDown is
stuff.
SmackDown is very much a
like
tag
the
team show.
SmackDown tag team championships would have made a lot more sense for WrestleMania because they've been building this up like crazy. The tag team division on SmackDown right now is really good.
How about this? How about one tag team championship? How about just one?
No, we're not
Did
going
you
back
have
to
they keep doing that and it never works.
Yeah.
I know, but like we can't keep having four tag teams and 4 tag teams in each division. Like we can't. It's I'm tired of seeing the same 4 people fight. It's so boring.
But here's the thing: the tag team division on SmackDown. A, there's a couple of tag teams right now over there. B, they've all sort of been built in this one giant story, and I actually quite appreciate that. There's a level of depth in the SmackDown tag team storylines right now that just doesn't.
So why aren't they on Mania instead?
Because that just doesn't exist on Monday Night Raw. Probably because there aren't that many tag teams on Raw, like true blue tag teams. So, yet for some reason they're kind of getting shafted. Now, something could probably happen on SmackDown where they get added, and if that's the case, then you'll see us add their prediction on our TikTok page at the Push Wrestling.
Nice plug.
Oh my god!
Anyway, I gotta promote the page.
But
no, I know.
As far as I'm concerned, SmackDown Tag Team Division is better, and they're kind of getting shafted on this one.
Okay, well, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the New Day versus the War Raiders.
Yeah, it's no disrespect to them. I just don't.
Are you going War Raiders?
I don't feel. I don't know. They're
War
probably
Raiders.
The New Day. I feel like just because they've got. I guess they have momentum, but like. I don't know. I just don't. This isn't really a match that I feel very invested in, to be honest.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go New Day. I don't know if this is me being optimistic or just kind of fantasy booking here, but I'm gonna say New Day because I feel like they might be like cooking something up that they're trying to maybe build to.
Do you think the turn of Big E is still on the horizon?
I don't know. I honestly feel like that
something would have been leaked already.
Not even that. Like, not even that. I feel like Big E's potential return was the whole reason that the New Day kind of fell flat in the first place because I feel like we were expecting him to come back because like in all fairness, we all thought he was coming back when they had him show up and then use that for the heel turn. Because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that makes the most sense. Because it's like, why would you put him in the ring, use him to turn Kofi and Xavier heel, and then just have him disappear into the fucking ether?
Yeah.
I
But
still stand by. I feel like they
overshot.
think he was gonna be cleared, and then he wasn't, and they just kind of had to. They didn't have anything else for the New Day to do, so I'm hoping that maybe they built up something a little bit with creative that they could figure some shit out and like do something with it, because like otherwise, I don't know.
This was all for nothing.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say hopeful optimism. New Day wins and like something's got to happen.
Yeah.
Even
Cap.
if it means like calling up a tag team from NXT or something like
Anything,
that.
or even put the
Yeah.
Usos back together. Like their feuds were always great.
Hmm.
Seriously, but yeah, I don't know, man. And I agree with you. I do think that they maybe overshot the Big E return. Maybe
Yeah.
there was a bit more hope in that than there should have been.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like there was a lot of, oh, he'll be fine, we can get him back, and then his doctor said, nope.
It's not looking good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Cap, who do you
so
have?
now they're just like crap. They just look like two guys that just bashed a crippled person.
Did you
Yeah.
almost call him homeless? What the fuck?
Your prediction.
I said mine already. Ray,
Yeah,
I said
Scott
when you
War
wut
Raiders.
talking, I said Ray War
Scott
Raiders.
Yeah, Scott put
Oh, you
Warriors.
said it? War Raiders? Okay.
Cap, what
Francis?
was your pick?
Mine was New Day.
Okay. Mine is New Day as well. Yeah, like Cap, when you started this, you said like the New Day haven't been doing much. They've been looking like infinite McDweebicuses. I agree, and that's why they're going to win. This is how they get the spark back.
By the way,
all
I'll
right.
just add
I never.
this.
Sorry, I've never expressed. I'll just express it because I wasn't. I don't know. I totally forgot to express my. I picked War Raiders. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to give them a title shot but nobody's like behind this heel turn, and it really has just been stale because they're just walking around complaining, and when they fight, they lose, and then now they're getting a title shot at WrestleMania, and I just feel like this should just be a War Raiders win. They show how powerful they are, and to continue their dominance, at least have one dominant tag title
I
on
at
brand.
least hope to God that it's a good match, at least, because both
It should
of
be.
them.
I was gonna say
Both,
between the caliber of both teams, the match is gonna be great, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It better be because I think it's well noted at this point that Eric and Ibar both have a long history of medical problems. So I truly don't know how many more matches these guys even have left.
Yeah. What if crazy conspiracy theory moment? This isn't part of my prediction. I'm just like kind of spitballing here. There's been a tag team that is no longer a part of the WWE who has been expressed severe interest in returning to the WWE.
I feel like I know who you're talking
You know
about.
exactly who I'm
Same
talking
who.
about.
Is it Brother Nero and the
It is
Broken
indeed.
Brilliance?
They've expressed interest in coming back to the WWE for one last run to finish off in the WWE before going into the Hall of Fame.
So you think
and they've been mystery in like add-ins to tag matches in the past.
so many times.
Yeah.
If you could make a drinking game of how many times the Hardys were last
the most
minute
recent
incisions.
one, the most recent one that I can think of was 2018 maybe.
2017.
Was it 17? Yeah, and
Yeah,
the
33.
New Day was hosting WrestleMania, and I still laugh about this because it was that year's WrestleMania was sponsored by Final Fantasy 14. And if I remember correctly, I think Xavier came out with like Chocobo stuff. on
They
his
all
gear.
did.
They all came out dressed as different, like the new classes from the expansion because it was Stormblood.
Yeah.
Because I think Kofi came out as a red mage. Xavier came out as a samurai. Anyway, but I digress. But they were hosting, and they said, "Oh, this 5-way ladder match now became a 6-way ladder match, and we're going to add one more team." And it was the Hardy Boys.
I'm out so hard to that.
I lost my mind.
Yeah.
I would say that would be a really interesting, a great way to make this match a lot more interesting. Like, yeah, they've been building the feud really well. No.
Okay.
Like I said, this has nothing to do with my prediction. This is just me spitballing and becoming a fucking conspiracy theorist for a minute.
I think here's the thing.
It's not out of question that, not out of the realm of possibility.
I don't hate the theory. My question is, would they be bold enough to do that twice?
Yes.
With them?
Yeah.
100%.
Technically
Hardy,
speaking,
you can do it anytime.
I was gonna say it's the Hardy Boys. They could literally fucking turn around tomorrow and be like, "Hey, make it a
They
ladder
are
match."
technically working with WWE via TNA.
They are. They could show
They're
up
probably
as the
the
TNA
greatest
champions.
tag team of all time. They're probably the greatest tag team ever. Not only by wrestling standards, but by popularity
Just in general.
standards.
Yeah, they're easily the most popular.
Yeah.
People changed their styles in real life to look like Jeff Hardy.
100%.
Like that's how
Yeah.
like they changed people's ways of living.
I also don't feel like this is too much to ask. I want Broken Matt Hardy back in WWE. I miss it.
Oh, I
miss Broken Matt Hardy.
Yeah. Give it like a real shot here.
Yeah.
Too.
Final Deletion 5 with the Wyatt 6. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Final Deletion 5. I am so there.
All I'm saying is that's definitely a possibility I would love to see. And it's not out of the realm of possibility because they said they want to come back. They're working with TNA, which has an open contract with WWE where they can use their talent and vice versa. So
it's possible. Anyway, next match.
If anyone from creative is ever listening to this,
which you should be, we're hilarious.
Please do.
I am open for career opportunities.
And I can count to 4. I'm good at math.
I can count to 4.
Anyway, the next match on the card.
We're willing to offer Francis as a crash test dummy.
Yes.
Yes.
Next match on the card, we have Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Jaderade.
Jade.
Jade?
I think it's... we can just accept this one.
Yeah. This one's... I feel like every time we have a prediction game, there's always that one match that's who do you think is going to win and why do you think it's X? Yeah. This is that match. Why do we think it's Jade?
This is another one where I'll ask the question. Who do we think is going to win and why is the answer Jade?
Because it's Jade?
Yes. There you go. That's perfectly good enough reason for me to sign the fucking thing.
Yeah. Not only on a storyline standpoint, but a dominance standpoint. I just don't see Naomi winning this one against her.
I feel like this lost any luster when the nanosecond Jade Cargill came back from injury. She absolutely beat the crap out of Naomi.
Yeah.
Watch it be a squash.
It's good. It fucking better be.
Night,
yeah.
And then later that
I still think Bianca has something to do with it.
Yeah.
I think this is what's going to start the Bianca Jade feud.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like, all right, you know what? Put a bonus point in for me on this match.
All right, what's up, Tom?
I say Bianca is going to get involved in some way, shape, or form. There's going to be some shenanigans involving Bianca Belair during this match.
I put down Bianca involvement.
Yeah, because she's not wrestling on this night. So.
I don't think it's going to happen at Mania, though.
No, I don't know. I'm saying I think that she might show up and do some shit. Who knows?
All right.
Because she's not wrestling on night 1. She's wrestling on night 2.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next match on the card. United States Championship match. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
Okay, so I feel like this is another one where I can say, and this is going to... Believe me, this is going to hurt when I say it because I love LA Knight so much. Who do you guys think is going to win And why is the correct answer Jacob?
We're done with LA Knight as U.S. champion. Up.
He's got to move up. Yep.
That's simply as that.
Yeah.
He lost it, regained it. That's it. You've killed any more momentum on the second title run when you've lost it the first time.
You got to remember, the whole reason he has it right now is because Shinsuke needed to step away from the company for a little while. Because his brother unfortunately passed away. So they needed to they needed to pull the title off Shinsuke so he can go back to Japan and be with his family and stuff.
I don't know why I thought he got released.
No. Shinsuke's still employed. He's just not.
He's still employed.
He stepped away from the company temporarily.
All right, good.
So they panicked and put the title back on LA Knight, which, in all fairness, was the safest option. But
it was.
I agree with Scott. It is his time to move on up into the main event, because LA Knight versus LA Knight's on SmackDown, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, LA Knight versus John Cena. If Cena beats Cody, could fucking.
Ooh.
But even if Cody wins and keeps the title, LA Knight versus Cody could be banger.
Could be huge.
That could be a good face versus face.
Absolutely massive.
Not even you could. LA Knight's kind of a tweener at this point. You don't need him to be a babyface. Anyway, Jacob Fatu.
With his personality, he can be anywhere.
Exactly. Jacob Fatu, I think, would just carry the fuck out of a mid-card title. Like, it would just work so well for him. The dude is insane. He moves like a man his size should not.
Yeah. He is the most athletically gifted member out of the bloodline.
100%. And he cuts an insane promo. His promos are always very good. So giving him a mid-card title would be absolutely phenomenal right now.
Yeah.
Is he good with Solo?
They're kind of like on the fence. Like
on the fence with another.
It's like he's part of the bloodline, but it's like he's not.
Yeah.
He's not like kissing his ass anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
I was gonna put an extra
there is
point.
No more I love you Solo.
Yeah, there's no more I love you Solo. There's like it's just.
Oh, you're here too. Cool.
Yeah. He's kind of doing his own thing, so he's like he's like slowly stepping away from the bloodline.
Yeah. All right, then I won't put a prediction in there. Point.
Bonus point. Gotcha.
So like,
bonus.
Here's why I think this is gonna happen, man. Obviously, Jacob is phenomenal. Man's built like Umaga, but moves like an Uso. Like
that's an analogy.
That's it. I was trying to think of a good analogy.
Yeah,
I thought of Uso. I thought of Jey Uso, but I couldn't think of the first analogy. And that
man's built like Umaga, but
he has the agility of the Usos,
which is
scary.
The thing. Jacob is, and funny enough, when I make that comparison, a mid-card title run for Jacob, I feel could harbinge back to those days where Umaga was running around with the IC title.
Mm-hmm.
And he had Armando Estrada.
Except Jacob doesn't need an Armando.
No, he does not.
Because he's actually incredible on them. Like, he's incredible
He doesn't need a mouthpiece. The dude can cut his own promos.
Yeah. He's his own Armando.
Hangs out with him just because
he's there.
He's got nowhere to go.
Yeah. Francis, what do you think?
So, when I wrote this earlier today, I did put down LA Knight, but only on the sole purpose that I didn't want any more bloodline shenanigans going down.
I don't think there will be. Because they really didn't mess with his match against Braun Strowman.
That's true. I did write it down, though, and I do kind of want to stand by it. It's the kind of thing, if I'm wrong, which I probably am, I'll just take it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Believe I don't put this lightly because LA Knight, y'all know, is one of my favorite guys on the roster right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But between him and Jacob, it's hard not to say Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And Jacob getting the U.S. belt could be the breakaway from the bloodline he needs.
Exactly. And
Possibly.
it'll elevate the U.S. title, hopefully.
Yeah.
oh, absolutely.
All right. Next match.
Anyway, yes.
Something I wasn't expecting, honestly. I wasn't expecting both Royal Rumble winners to be competing on the same night. The next match on the card is the WWE Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair.
All right.
Oh God.
Yep.
I feel like it would be irresponsible to. Before I give my prediction, I feel like it'd be irresponsible to talk about this match and not talk about the, let's call it, muddy record that this has had so far.
Yeah.
There have been multiple times where both of them have gone off script.
They shot on each other.
Personal attacks. There's been a lot of bad blood in this.
Ludwig Kaiser is the first man in history to be accused of cheating, and no one
believed it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad
Flair
blood
with
in
their
this
outfit
feud.
wanted to turn back time.
If she could find a way.
Yeah, you get that reference? I think Cameron
I
is the
did,
reference.
yeah.
Yeah, you got it late. There you go. I was hoping that caught.
Oh God! You can't hit me with one of my favorite Cher songs, and
I'm so sorry. I'm saying this, and I'm actually going to say sorry for this. God, she looked disgusting in that. When
Charlotte,
majority of you is fake, it does not look good.
Charlotte needs to chill with the plastic surgery. It's not
Yeah.
doing her any favors anymore.
I didn't
anyway-
think she needed it the first time.
But anyway, yeah. Look, man, there's been a lot of bad blood when it comes to this feud, and unfortunately, not the fun type.
Not the pay-per-view.
No, not the.
I just felt like everything fell apart, and then they just went personal on it. I don't even think that was scripted. I just think they just had nothing. And
yeah, I don't even know who started it. To be completely honest with you, it's kind of hard to tell.
It doesn't matter at this point.
But it doesn't really matter because even if Tiffany started it, Charlotte is a 14-time champion. She's been in this business long enough that the fans booing her should not frazzle her the way it did.
Yeah, no.
The fact that Tiffany held her composure better speaks leaps and bounds about her focus and everything. Because you know what? Because I'm going to put it this way, right? Yes, I think Tiffany went off, in my opinion, from what I could tell just from my guessing, is I think Tiffany kind of went off script first and started shooting. And nothing she said, Charlotte said it herself, nothing that Tiffany said to her hasn't been said in the past.
No, it hasn't.
It's all the same shit. It's always, oh, you're only here because of your last name, and you're only, you just show up and you get title shots because of your last name and who your dad was, right? But it's the fact that, and then Tiffany did go a little low with bringing her
marriage,
personal life into
it. Oh God, that was brutal. That was really funny. That was brutal.
It was funny, but it was slightly unnecessary in my opinion. I think you kind of went a little too far on that one.
That was crazy though.
Here's the thing, because you pointed this out, Dom, and you're absolutely right. Almost nothing that has been said to Charlotte during this feud, it's not things that she hasn't heard before.
Yeah.
She's been called a Nepo baby before.
So many times.
So I have no idea why that frazzled her so much.
I think it was the combination of that and the fans, the crowd booing her the way they were. Really got to her. But I'm you used to get booed all the time.
She's been in the
What
company
changed?
for
You've been a heel.
10 years now? 10, 15 years? Something like that?
That's my only thing. Is I don't.
You know what's changed is that it's that Vince shoved her down our throat so much that we just don't like her being on TV.
No,
And the
but
fact that she doesn't have to do
But here's the thing,
anything and
Scott,
she
it's
just
not
gets
like
what she
we-
wants.
that's not the
But
point
here's
that
the
we're
thing,
trying to
Scott,
make.
it's
We
not
know
like
why
we were
we're
showing-
booing her.
That's my point.
Yeah.
No, I know, but we know why we're booing her. We're wondering what changed in the fact that she's not able to take it anymore.
Yeah.
She's spoiled brat.
But again, this is just the thing that confuses me is that outwardly nothing has changed here. So something internally, specifically with Charlotte, something internally is not right. Something internally is wrong because for somebody who's been in the company for going on, what, 15 years now?
Probably
10, 15 years?
Yeah, between
Probably.
NXT and the main roster.
You know,
I think
somebody can correct me on that if I'm wrong. But for somebody who's been specifically somebody who's been a heel most of the time that she's been in the company, this should not be that like horror rattling to her.
That's all I'm
If this
saying.
were, like,
She's
that was,
held
like-
her composure through worse.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why this specifically. If I'm giving my prediction now, if I'm giving my prediction, I'm going to give it to Tiffany just because it makes more sense to go with Tiffany right now. But
Same.
I feel like I feel especially like Charlotte has made too many mistakes here to feel confident in her beating quite possibly one of the most popular women in the show right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to put it this way. A couple weeks ago, my thoughts on the subject were very different. I would have said Charlotte was going to win because it's Charlotte and she's does her usual thing, right? But after that promo, if I were Triple H and I was making the calls, I might fucking consider changing my mind, make Tiffany win, because at that point, not only does it show that Charlotte has yet another moment of severe unprofessionalism in the ring.
Yeah.
But also it's like, how can I trust you to hold that title when you can't even cut a promo because the crowd is booing you? And it's like, this isn't the first time she's gotten rattled by the crowd either lately.
Huh?
When she first came back, it was the same thing. They tried to make her a babyface. Granted, I don't really blame her on that one. I blame more creative because they wanted to push her as a babyface and be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. While I was gone, I went through a lot. And then the crowd was booing her. So she kind of pivoted and tried to turn it into a heel promo, but she kind of stumbled through it. That I kind of chalked that up to improvising, right? This one was a little different. This one you could tell that Tiffany got to her for whatever reason. The crowd got to her for whatever reason. And then, like I said, I don't think Tiffany needed to bring up the fact that she's had 3 divorces in her life.
No,
that was a little too far.
No.
And then, because you could tell, the second she said that and immediately rolled out of the ring, she goes, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Because, you know what? And like I said, Charlotte's had a bad history of retaliating against shit like that. Because what the fuck? She straight up punched Nia Jax in the face. Like, legit. Like, shoot punch. Not even like a gimmick punch. Like, she straight up clocked the fuck out of Nia Jax for it. There was the whole incident with Becky Lynch where she just threw the title on the floor when they were doing the swap. And
That
Becky,
was another case of unprofessionalism.
Yeah.
You can't separate personal life with professional life.
yeah,
Yeah.
because like Becky said in an interview not that long ago, they asked her like, "Oh, are you and Charlotte like actually friends in real life?" Like, and she goes, "We used to be," but her ego and her personality backstage just ruined everything with their friendship. So it's like there's a lot of.
I mean, when you grew up with your dad having the biggest ego of any wrestler,
oh yeah,
kind of like,
bro,
yeah.
Ric Flair even said
Kinda
himself
doomed.
her ego was worse than his.
And that's
Really?
coming from Ric Flair.
Damn, I never heard that. That's crazy.
Yeah, Yeah. So anyway, who you got, Dom?
I'm gonna go Tiffany.
All right, Scott.
Tiff.
All right,
Yeah,
we're all
like Dom
Tiffany.
said, if it was like a week or two ago, I would have been definitely Charlotte. I would have been annoyed. I would have said Charlotte, but God, Tiffany needs to keep that belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She really does.
So we're all Tiffany. Okay.
It is in
Again,
fact
I'm not
Tiffany.
saying Tiffany was right to say what she said, and to
No,
go. She
no,
went
God,
off.
no.
I'm like I said. I'm pretty sure she went off script first. But
Oh, I tell you one thing: a
but, like,
lot of
that's-
more people inside the business loved her more for that than they did.
Oh,
Like,
100%. And like
And
my whole
especially-
thing is, it's that I
He-
don't.
she made Daddy Punk proud.
And there's
That was a
especially
Daddy
the
Punk
thing
moment.
in the fact that Tiffany is supposed to be the. I think what people are forgetting here, Tiffany is supposed to be the face
Yeah,
of this story,
Mhm.
and she's really. I'm gonna be.
She's not
completely
acting
honest,
like
she's
one.
really not acting like it.
Yeah.
but
And
you know
no,
what?
she's
That's how
still
tweeners.
more
That's how
likable
tweeners
than.
are made. So
Yeah.
look at Stone Cold. When the fuck did he ever act like a baby face? But he was over as fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nope.
on to our main event of night one:
Yeah.
Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins.
With Paul Heyman
With
in.
Paul Heyman in CM
CM
Punk's
Punk.
corner. We finally know what the favor is.
hmm Mad dogging Roman.
Basically.
Yep.
So honestly, I'm gonna say this. This is the match I am looking forward to most
100%.
out of any of the two, out of either one of the two nights. Now,
This could be match of the decade.
Mhm.
a lot of
This
people's-
could overtop. To be honest, I'm so sorry, Kat, but with the magnitude of all three of these wrestlers, this could be better than last year's second night 2 main event.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So here-
if there was the only thing that can make this match better if there was a title involved.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to portray I want to put out a question to you guys. A lot of, specifically the IWC, have a problem with this match in the fact that there are no stakes in this match.
Other than
My
Paul
personal-
Heyman.
No, there are.
My personal opinion is that this match did not need stakes. These are all, to call these three guys high caliber stars on the show is an understatement. These guys are the show. All three of them are the show.
3 of the 5 biggest names on the show. Easily.
Yeah. No. You have easily 3 of the
And then
top
I'm
5.
talking between SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, SmackDown and Raw, men and women. These are 3 of the top 5 names in WWE right now. So to be honest with you, I
'Cause-
don't think
and-
necessarily there
Yeah.
needs to be
'Cause-
any stakes.
Because here's
But
the
there
thing,
are,
too.
though.
On top of that, the other 2 are in the other main event.
Exactly.
So, here's my thing, right? I agree with Cap. This doesn't need a title. This doesn't need major. I can't think of the fucking word.
Stakes.
Repercussions, I guess.
It doesn't
Yeah.
need like title.
Yeah. Granted, it would be nice if
ramification.
there was a title, but I do want to mention one thing that I don't know if it was a freak accident or conspiracy theorists on TikTok have reached my For You page. And I was watching this video earlier, and I thought it was interesting, and I'm pretty sure it was just a flub in the respect of whoever typed up the description of the item on Shop WWE. But there was a merchandise item that hit the store and was very quickly taken down, and then reposted later. And a lot of conspiracy theorists think that it's spoiled some outcome of WrestleMania as a whole. So it was a pillow of the undisputed championship belt, right? So it's a pillow that looks like the belt. But
Okay.
In the item description, it said celebrate CM Punk's title reign with this replica undisputed world championship title belt pillow. And I'm like, these things don't add up.
Yeah,
Because
he's not a title
in
match.
the match. So I'm like, conspiracy theorists are like, what if he manages to get into the match somehow because of Paul Heyman or something? And I'm like, that would be a really interesting way to have neither Cody or Cena win and have that Punk and Cena feud later on.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
That is interesting. I'm like 99.5% sure that was just a mistake.
A flub, yeah.
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 But there's always like that, again, there's like the little fucking voice in the
There's
back of your
Seth's
head.
promise.
But like, what if?
And Seth's promise could be make this a first contenders match for the title tomorrow.
Yeah, like a number one contendership match.
Number one
like,
contenders match, yeah.
Yeah, because Seth made a comment to Paul
Seth
Heyman
thinking that Seth thinking with his ego, I'm
that
gonna
he's
win
gonna
this
win and put himself in the title match.
because Seth has been chilling back. He's been watching the feud because we're gonna get a Punk and Roman feud coming future for Paul.
Yeah. But I'm like,
I think Seth just thinks, I can just pin them against each other this whole match and I'll win.
And then
Except that he doesn't know that Roman equally hates you.
Yeah.
Even though Punk doesn't care, Punk's willing to beat your ass anytime.
Yeah.
So,
because that's the thing. Because what was it? Seth even made a comment to Paul Heyman. He's like, "Oh, now you owe me a favor." So there's possibility. That's what I'm saying. There's like the little fucking itch in the back of my head. That's like, but what if?
Dom's spidey sense is tingling.
Again, it's the conspiracy theorist fantasy booking coming into play here.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because I'm going to give my prediction now.
Yes.
And I'm going to have an extra point on it.
Oh.
Tell me.
And thank you. By the way, I first heard this. This got planted in my head, I think, through Bubba Ray's podcast. So I think it was Bubba himself that gave me this idea. So we look at these three guys. We look at Roman, we look at Punk, we look at Rollins. Paul Heyman is in CM Punk's corner for this match.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's three different ways that this can go. Because Paul Heyman is definitely going to get involved in the match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's going to be involved in the match. That's not my extra point, though. Well, somewhat. If Paul Heyman betrays Punk and helps Roman Reigns, that's it. We get same status quo tribal chief and Wiseman thing that we've been getting for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's whatever. It's fine. But it's status quo.
Mm-hmm.
If he stays true to Punk and helps Punk win, then we get the best friends together, CM Punk and Paul Heyman, which, again, is fine. It's good.
You think he's going to betray both of them and help Rollins?
Wait.
Shut up!
We don't only get that, but we get PG Punk in with no chains against his mouth because now he can do more. But continue, sorry.
Which, again, it's good, but we've seen it. And then there is Seth freaking Rollins.
Should have known where he was getting with this.
A man.
I knew where it was going the second it started.
He ripped me off.
You all knew where it was going. But now here's the thing. Here's the thing. We have never seen Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman together. And as much as Seth is popular, he is popular in the WWE. But we have been dying for a change between Seth Rollins for years now. Because as good as it is, it's been the same character for God knows how long now.
Yes, we are still going, Chrissy.
We need.
Hi, Miss Chris.
If that's what she said. If that's what she.
Seth Rollins needs to become a Paul Heyman guy. What better way to evolve?
I mean, Seth doesn't need it, but goddamn would it be entertaining.
Yeah. You
There
think
we
he's
go.
gonna make Paul dress like
So
an
my
idiot
thing
too?
is, Seth wins the match, and for my extra point, Paul Heyman betrays both Punk and Roman and becomes becomes the advocate for Seth frickin' Rollins.
All right, I have that down. Dom Scott.
Punk.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you're going to continue the Roman CM Punk feud, it has to be one of them two.
Mm-hmm.
Punk is currently not in that trajectory, to me, of winning anything in the near future, unless WrestleMania changes that and this is the end of his losing streak. But yeah, it has to be one of them two. And if I feel like they still want to push Punk, I feel like they want to have Punk to have a title shot. They want him to have the title for a bit. It's going to happen at one point.
Yeah.
But Punk needs to look strong in this one to continue because the Paul feud's not over.
I'm gonna also say CM Punk, because they're making a big deal over the fact that this is his first ever WrestleMania main event. First off, that's number one. Number two, like Scott said, this is a guy that you probably at some point in the very near future want holding a major title in your company. So what better way to make him look strong as to have him beat the guy who held the biggest title in the company for over 3 years.
Over 3 years.
And arguably one of the most over guys with the fans in Seth Rollins. So to me, all signs are pointing to Punk. And again, the 0.5% chance that wasn't a mistake that got posted today, and that there is some kind of crazy fucking tie-in that gets him in the main event of night 2. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to go with Punk.
Francis?
Okay, so I put Punk 2. Again, a big caveat for Punk's return is that he finally gets the main event Mania like he already did, which was one of the major grievances he had when he left back in 2014. It would really be nice to see him finally pick up the big one. Having said that, though, I'm putting Punk for the win, but for my bonus point, I agree with you. I think Heyman's going to betray him and join with Rollins. It could happen after the match. Punk wins, Heyman raises his hand, and then he takes him to Dick Kick City, and then he and Rollins beat him down.
Okay.
Listen, guys. If I'm wrong on this one. And if Punk does end up winning, I'm gonna be happy with it. I love CM Punk, but that theory that I heard was just too damn good,
right,
for me to not want that.
Right.
Like that was just too good for me to not want to.
When I first saw it, right, when I first saw the TikTok, I was like, they were like, potential spoilers for WrestleMania, and I saw the picture of the pillow. And I'm like,
I'm not talking about.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Talking about the pillow.
No, I know, but I'm saying that's kind of where my head is at right now. And then like I saw that, and they're like, spoilers for WrestleMania. I was like, they spoiled that Cena's gonna win, whatever. And then they like CM Punk. I was like, CM Punk.
I mean, it's kind of crazy when you assume that all 5 of these guys technically are involved in the same story.
Kind of.
Cena, Cody, Roman, Punk, Rollins. These guys are all intertwined.
In some way, shape, or form, yeah.
In some way, shape, or form, all of these guys are involved in the same story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Well, that's all for night 1.
Night 2.
Night 2. Is Randy in there?
Moving on to night 2.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't have anything on here.
All right, we'll save a TikTok on our predictions for Randy Orton's match.
We'll save if there's anything.
Because there's probably going to be a match.
So there is like a thing on here that's like almost like an asterisk. It just says WrestleMania 41 prediction on the website. So according to CBS Sports website, says Randy Orton versus TBD. Orton was originally scheduled to face Kevin Owens at the event, but Owens was forced to withdraw from the match because of a legitimate neck injury that will require surgery to repair. With Owens out of the picture, Orton has spent the last 2 weeks to build to WrestleMania, begging SmackDown general manager for a match to reach 20 appearances at the event. There have been some teases of Aldis coming out of retirement for a match, but that direction is unclear as Solo Sikoa has started poking around Orton's business. So, it's possible that we have to see what's going to happen on Friday. Because, again, we still have one more night of wrestling before we get to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Randy's a SmackDown guy, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's still one more episode of SmackDown. It could still possibly be Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis, or we might just get a squash match of Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa.
So if you want to know what our predictions are for Randy Orton's match at WrestleMania, pay attention to our TikTok. We will all be showing a message on our prediction.
Absolutely.
Nice plug.
At the Push Wrestling on TikTok.
Uh-huh.
All right. Anyway, so first match of the night on the card, first official match of the card, AJ Styles versus Cap's favoritist person in the whole wide world, Mr. Logan Paul.
This.
So
I'm gonna
you
say
wanted to put down AJ, right?
This is a pre-prediction on this match. This is probably going to be the best match of the entire pay-per-view, I would say.
In ring
AJ Styles, we already know who he is. We already know how amazing he is. How his repertoire of everything is. I mean, and also you have somebody equally as athletic as AJ Styles and Logan Paul, and the stuff that they're going to be able to do together. I can't believe that we don't see something different, something insane during that match. That we're just like, oh my god.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the match is going to be great. I don't think it's going to be the best match of the entire pay-per-view, but...
Yeah, I was about to say, how are you going to say that after we just talked about the triple threat? Like,
Because this is AJ Styles, and Logan Paul has proved he can put on a damn hell of a match.
Anyway, I think...
And he hasn't been anybody like AJ Styles.
I think it's going to be a really good match.
Who do we have, fellas?
I'm going to go Logan.
Yep,
so
Logan.
Here's something that I will say.
Just say it.
And
AJ Styles. Just say it.
Shut up. Hey, shut up. Shut up. Hey, Scott. Shut up.
Why are we whispering?
Shut up.
Anyway, but I do think that the match is going to be good. Match is going to be great. I do think that this was hurt because there was a period of time where it felt like, I've personally felt like they kind of just dropped this idea. Like there was a number of weeks where like they didn't really do much with it. So I do feel like that kind of hurt the momentum that this match had going for it. And then there's this whole thing with Carrion that I don't entirely understand. But,
yeah, it's weird.
So don't really know what that's all about. Listen, I love AJ, man. I love AJ so much. He's probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Dude can do quite literally everything. But unfortunately, he's kind of been demoted to this
gatekeeper.
Demoted to this stage where he's at a point in his career where it's more about raising up other talent than it is, building on his own.
Yeah,
the elder statesman.
Honestly, Logan Paul hasn't won on like a major event.
No, he has not in a while.
Not in a while.
It's been
since he had the U.S. title.
Yeah,
it's been and that was
a while ago.
Unless I'm not thinking about something. Was that the last match that he had?
No.
Ever?
No.
No, Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Right.
He's
yes,
had
yes,
other
yes.
matches. It's just that was like his last, I think, singles match on
Right,
a major
yes.
pay-per-view.
He was also gone for a bit because he retired.
Yeah, retired.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
retired
Brett
for
Favre'd
2
it.
weeks.
Yeah,
He retired for like 2 weeks.
I think it was like 2 days.
Not
Yeah,
even.
he pulled like a Tom Brady thing.
No, that was a
Um,
Brett Favre.
He double reversed Brett Favre.
But anyway,
So
yeah,
you're going Logan?
yeah, no, it's been a minute. This is gonna kill me. Yeah, give it to Logan.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
feel your soul dying. I already wrote it down.
But you
I
didn't
I
say
know
who
your
you
pain,
picked.
Cap. I know your pain, Cap. Remember, I had to pick for night one. It was
You have to
painful to pick Jay, but I had to do it.
Yeah. Again, odd man out. I picked AJ.
Because you hate Jey Uso so much.
Yeah.
I like him. I just hate the fact that he's just not as good as he should be.
Mine is not only because of my personal gripe with Logan Paul and everything about his existence, but the fact that it's over quite possibly one of the greatest wrestlers of all time in AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that being said, that match is going to be great. I feel like it's going to be plenty of good moments. But you know,
Yeah.
now for a match that I think is going to be decent, but I feel like it is kind of. I'm a little upset that it's happening. The women's tag team championship match. I'm not upset that it's the women's tag team championship match. I'm upset of who the contenders are. So it's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez as the champions versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah.
My only issue with this match is the fact that Lyra Valkyria is involved.
Yeah.
Why do you have?
Yeah.
You gave her the women's intercontinental championship match, the intercontinental championship. Why does she need to go after the tag titles? There is no
Because they didn't have
reason.
anything else for her.
You give her a fucking intercontinental
Bayley.
championship match.
Because Bayley.
No, I get that, but you could have fucking paired Bayley up with anybody else.
Piper Niven, I don't think she's doing anything.
He's with Chelsea.
She's with Chelsea Green. But like you could have, but again, and like don't get me wrong, Bayley's great, but I don't think she needs to be going after the tag titles either. Honestly, like I feel like you could have had like the Kabuki Warriors, or I mean, there's really not a lot of other fucking women to be going after.
There you go. That's why they went with Lyra.
I know, but then why bother with the mid-card titles for the women if you're going to do something like this? That's all I'm saying. That's my only issue because I
agree.
And because they literally became a tag team fucking 3 days ago.
That's like not even a week ago.
I'm going to have to give it to Liv and Raquel.
I'll give my prediction next, and not only do I agree with Dom, I'm going to say something else that not a lot of people hear all the time. It's the fact that I'm going to say it. Francis had a good point just now.
No,
shit, I did.
Yeah, they have like no. There's like practically no women's division to go for tag titles.
Don't understand. For a while, I didn't understand why this match was happening, why the Intercontinental Champion was going after tag team titles, until Francis just made the point of this match seems to be nothing more than just to have two more incredibly popular women. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Three and a half incredibly popular women.
Ouch.
Raquel's not
It's
that popular.
terrible.
Sorry to tell
I know.
Raquel's only
it's just
popular because she's paired with Liv.
Yeah.
And that she's like 7 feet tall.
There's this match serves as nothing else other than to have three of incredibly popular women on your show be involved in WrestleMania. It's more or less giving them something to do.
Yeah, because honestly, I would have much rathered have a triple threat between Liv, Lyra, and Bayley for the Intercontinental Championship match.
As well.
Yeah.
That would have been so much better than a fucking tag titles match.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I 100% agree.
Because
Uh,
Lyra
with that being
Valkyria could have
said-
shined. I'm
Lyra
going
could've-
for
yeah, Lyra
Bailey and not Bailey and Val. I'm going for Raquel and Liv.
I am going with them as well.
Yeah, great.
I
Moving
went
on.
with-
Yeah, I don't. Lyra Valkyria doesn't need 2 championships this
No.
early.
No.
No.
If they're not going to showcase one, why would they showcase both? Anyway, the next match, which I feel like is going to be,
Well, wait, what did Francis say?
he agreed with us.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. No, he didn't.
You think Bailey
I put
and
the-
Lyra are going to win?
Solely off of the fact that it feels like they're throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks when it comes with the women's tag and intercontinental.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
We could all be wrong.
Yeah.
Next match,
Nobody.
I feel like is going to be a fucking slobber knocker. Like it's literally going to be, to quote Simon Miller from What Culture Wrestling, big meaty men slapping man meat. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre.
That's not.
God, this match is going to
Is
be
that a
great.
street fight? That's a street fight, right?
It's a street fight. Sin City street fight.
It didn't. It doesn't say that on
I-
here, but I vaguely remember hearing that.
I remember seeing it on
I don't
Wikipedia.
remember a street fight.
It said so on Wikipedia, I think.
Trust me, I watched SmackDown last weekend. It was announced. No.
Okay. Yeah, then they just didn't mention that. But anyway, so Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre in a, let's call a spade, is a non DQs match.
Yeah.
But I never understood why WWE needed 5 different matches to say no disqualifications.
Since street fight, no DQ.
No, every
Extreme Rules,
wrestler gets
hardcore.
their own Every wrestler gets to name their own street fight every time they get the chance to host a street fight.
No, but you get
I don't
my
understand
point.
it.
You get my point. Just street
Yeah.
fight in general. A street fight, a non DQs match, an Extreme Rules match. They're all the same shit.
Yeah. No holds
Just say a
barred,
street fight and
hardcore.
wherever. Just say a street fight and wherever that match is going to be held, just say it's going to be that. If it's in New York, just say it's a Madison Square Garden street fight.
Yeah.
And you're
And
there
then
outside
40
Madison
second
Square Garden.
Yeah.
And they have
Like,
to wear street
Come
clothes.
on.
They have to wear jeans. That is like a rule
Yeah.
of street fights. You wear jeans.
That's true. There will be jeans.
There will be jeans,
this-
except for Drew McIntyre, who's probably still going to wear a kilt.
No, he wears the jeans, but he wears the kilt over the jeans.
He wears a denim kilt.
Oh my god! That would go so hard. You do not mess with a man who willingly wears a denim kilt. He has nothing to fear.
I think this match is going to
Drew
be
McIntyre coming to
something
in a
fucking
denim kilt.
crazy.
Oh my god, it's a denim kilt.
God, this match has been crazy during regular shows.
So
Oh man.
I'm gonna have to give this one to. I'm gonna give it to Drew.
Okay.
So, yeah, my thing on this match, again, this is another match. There's no actual stakes to it, but these guys are so popular, it's immediately
They hate each other.
Yeah.
That's enough sometimes.
and their feud is so personal with one another. It turns what's going to be a good match into a great match.
Yeah.
Especially when you count the street fight.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm going to give it to Damien just
Okay.
because I feel like he could use a bit more momentum right now.
Okay. I am giving it to Drew basically solely off of the long-term storytelling of he gets his get back for Damian catching in on him last year.
Fair enough.
And
Yeah, that's kind of my logic there.
there you go.
Long term
Scott.
50-50 booking.
Exactly.
Damian Priest. I have no other reason. I just think Damian Priest.
Fair
I
enough.
can't give you a reason.
You know
why.
There
what?
you go,
Honestly, this is one of those matches where it literally
It
could,
go either way.
It could go either way. Although if he does show up in a denim kilt,
If he
then,
shows
you
up in a
it's
denim
like, oh,
kilt,
God,
not
he's winning.
only will I piss myself
landslide.
laughing,
Yeah.
but then it's a guaranteed win for Drew.
And he's
Um,
gonna kill him.
And I think Damien might die.
Guy in a kilt coming towards us. Wait a minute. Oh my god, it's made of denim. Oh my
Yeah.
god, we're so dead.
Guys, it's a denim kilt. He doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
We're so dead.
The next match on the card, which honestly I'm very excited for, to see these 4 dudes in the ring together.
Oh.
The Intercontinental
Yeah.
Championship match between Braun Breaker,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Finn Balor,
Uh-huh.
Dominic Mysterio, not to be confused with me, who's Dominic not Mysterio. And
Yeah,
Penta.
for a minute, I really thought you were about to be on the WrestleMania card.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking wish.
Okay, so before
I was
One
wondering,
more.
why didn't you tell us sooner,
Yeah.
you asshole?
before we go into the predictions, Dom Mysterio is gonna get his shit rocked in this, right?
Dude, Dominic
Like, whatever
Mysterio's
the-
gonna win.
Guy.
Real okay.
Dominic Mysterio's
Okay.
gonna
Who do you
win,
choose?
and he's gonna win.
What?
He's gonna win, and he's gonna pin Finn Balor doing it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the
Yeah, that's actually my exact
That's
one.
my prediction. Dominic
So
Mysterio. It's gonna be an insane match. Braun Breaker's gonna hand out
Oh.
spears like they're fucking candy.
he's gonna spear Dom out of his shoes.
Yeah, and then so here's my thing. I'm gonna say Dominic Mysterio is gonna win. This is gonna be his first main roster singles championship.
Yeah.
And my bonus bet is that he pins Finn Balor to do it.
Is that your bonus bet too, Cap?
Yeah, no, word for word, that's what I think is going to happen. Look,
All right, I
here's
put
the-
both of those down.
I love all 4 of these guys.
Yeah.
All 4 of them are great. I feel like Braun Breaker with the title
Phenomenal.
has been fine. It's been cool. But that's just because he's cool.
Yeah.
But, it's time to,
Yeah, I feel the same way about Braun
thing
Breaker
with
that
LA
I
Knight.
do LA Knight. It's time to
It's
get him
time
out of
to
the
move
mid
him.
card and move
Yeah.
him up towards the main roster. Not the
It's
main
time
event.
It's
I know what
time
you
to
mean.
level him up. I will also say this: if Gunther, for some reason, does retain this next weekend, his next opponent needs to be Braun.
Yes.
Oh my god! Talk about big meaty men slapping meat.
Yeah.
Oh, there's not going to be any slapping man meat. There's going to be spearing man meat.
But even I'll even take Braun Breaker versus Jey Uso again and let him fucking pull the title off Jay
I'd take that
if
action.
Jay wins. I don't care. Basically, whoever wins the heavyweight championship this weekend,
Yeah,
Braun Breaker needs to take it off of them,
Yeah.
I would love that.
off of their cold, torn in half bodies.
Basically.
and then
Basically.
bark at them like a dog, like a Magman.
And also, I just feel like this is a way to sort of push further that Judgment Day splitting up thing, because for some
Yeah.
reason there's been cracks in this stable, by the way, since like the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and this is my mentality going into this match is the whole reason you have Finn Balor and then Dom in the same match together is to further
Fracture it.
like to fracture
Further their
that and
fracture,
build on
yeah.
that story. Like that's the main thing here is
But also, it
Also,
protects
Cat.
Braun and it protects Penta as well.
Batman.
There's a cat.
but anyway,
Cat. Scott, who do you get? Oh, sorry.
but yeah,
He's
I feel
yours
like
tonight.
this is going to build on that, and this is going to be the reason Finn leaves the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Because he feels Dom is stepping on his toes and getting in, stealing his thunder because he didn't need to be in the match and this and that and blah blah blah. And then that we're going to have a
but-
feud between Dom and Finn, and that's going to be
It's not just stepping on his toes;
Amazing.
it's going to be full blown betrayal.
yeah.
But I feel also like it does that, and like I said before, it protects Braun from eating a pin, and it protects Penta as well.
Yeah.
Who, by all means necessary,
should not get pinned.
Yeah.
should not eat the pin. Penta, WWE, you guys have done a perfect job so far with Penta.
Don't fuck it up now.
Yeah.
You have done a perfect job. Him and Ray Phoenix. We'll talk about Ray on another show. The two of these guys single-handedly can revolutionize lucha libre wrestling in WWE. They are breathing new life
Well,
into
yeah, because we
lucha
have
libre.
more than just Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yes. These guys
Okay.
are breathing life into into lucha libre in WWE right now. These two need to be protected at all cost, and so far they have done everything right with these guys. But 100%, they should not eat the pin. Penta
Okay, I
should not.
agree. I agree you Penta shouldn't beat the pin. That's because you guys are stupid. That is who's gonna win the fucking title! Who's gonna win the
Okay.
fucking title? It's Penta!
Listen,
It's
I wouldn't be mad.
nobody else. He's gonna win the title, and I'm putting an extra point on Dom and/or Finn screwing each other off of a definite pin victory. One of them is gonna screw each other over with a pin victory. Dom either throws Finn off. I see more Dom throwing Finn off because Dom is more of the heel.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's where my point goes. I see one of them screwing each other over during this match.
So you're saying you think that like Finn's gonna have an easy pin, and then Dom's gonna break it
There's
up.
there's gonna be an easy opportunity, and Finn's gonna be tight. He's like, bro, this was. He's like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
And then
Okay.
it's gonna be at like an insane point. It's not gonna be like in the beginning.
yeah, it's gonna be like very late into the match.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to
Yeah.
be mad if that happens. I just think at this point, Dominic, he's not a rookie anymore.
No.
He's been in the company, what, 3-4 years now?
And he's proven that
5,
he could
something
hold the
like-
title well with the North American
He's proven
Championship.
he can hold the title with the North American Championship.
Yeah.
And at least he's not dicking around with Rhea anymore.
Yeah, he's not Rhea's little bitch baby anymore.
Yeah.
He needs
No,
to.
now he's
He needs to get away from the Judgment Day in order for him to have a title,
No, because I think him.
a solo title.
No, because like you could have him. Like I said, you have him hold the Intercontinental, but that gets Finn out because Carlito is like whatever. He's just there as like the comedy guy now.
Carlito's
You know,
dead.
Carlito.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Like,
Carlito's literally just there to be like, oh, that's cool. You know, that was cool.
I won't
And that
spit
was
on
it.
face of that.
But that's it. That's all he
Liv
does.
is, e-
The Judgment Day.
but
At this
Liv is
point-
either gonna leave or go with Finn.
No,
Mm.
Liv is gonna stay
Carlito?
with Dom.
Liv is staying with Dom.
The only person that would
Brock
leave with Finn was JD McDonough, and he's out with the injury.
He's injured. Yeah.
He's
So-
I mean,
Omega level injured.
There was
right
also
now.
that skip that was also. I mean, long-term storytelling here, but there was also the fact that Dom crumbled and is like, "Hey, Rhea, how about I join back up with you?" And I mean, Liv Morgan, I think, did say in a promo like, "We'll just string them along or something," or we'll just hold on until the right opportunity or something. Like
Yeah.
she knew that he went crawling back. Like she knows Dom went crawling back to Rhea when she was no longer in power. So it's like long-term storytelling seems to be like majority of these matches in these pay-per-views. In this pay-per-view, so
Yeah.
We'll see.
yeah,
I think she ends up going with whichever one of them wins the IC title.
Yeah. I put
If it's,
down. Yeah.
if it's Dominic, it's Dominic. So
I put down Braun because I just like seeing him beat people.
Fair.
Yeah.
oh, don't worry, somebody's going to eat the spear of a lifetime.
Yeah.
I
it's
want
okay,
him.
Francis. You're probably getting last anyway at the end of this.
Yeah, I just want to see Braun do Mortal Kombat fatalities on people.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about Carlito. I don't know why y'all are talking about Carlito. He is like dead. He's like dead. Like
He died
He
of
has like
violent death.
PTSD from Braun Breaker.
he posted it on his Twitter that he is dead. Like,
Yeah, that was a ghost who did that.
the ghost of Carlito took over his Twitter page and told us all that he's dead.
The ghost of Caribbean's past. That's
What's
the
the
name
next
of that
match?
express.
Okay, so the next match that we have is the Women's World Championship Triple Threat match between Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley.
God,
Yeah,
this is the
Guys,
one
I'm
match
not
I
gonna
can't
lie.
think of a winner.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like both of the women's title matches this year have been messy.
hmm
Charlotte and Tiffany have been messy for
All the reasons we
real
said
life.
earlier.
In real life messy, not fun type of messy. This match has been, I feel, messy because like the end result was so obvious
And now
from
it's
like the
not.
nanosecond that Rhea dropped the title that everything else just kind of seemed to be like prolonging an inevitable conclusion.
Yeah.
I saw the triple threat coming the nanosecond that Rhea lost the belt. So everything else has just kind of been about a month and a half of prolonging and like an inevitable thing.
Yeah.
So
Here's the thing, I don't know who's going to win this match, to be honest with you.
I can't get a guess it. I can't either.
Because realistically, it could be any of them.
yeah, I put Io.
I feel like it.
Yeah, because you simped on your answer.
Well,
We're actually trying to put thought into it.
I
here's
did
the
put
thing.
thought in it, and the thought was Io.
Yeah,
also-
the thought was simp and the EO.
Here's the thing. I am also going to say Io.
There you go.
And I'm going to say Io because throughout all of this, a common theme has been her getting overlooked in this feud. Bianca's shoved her away. Rhea has shoved her away. She's been, disrespected constantly throughout this entire feud. Nobody's even really paying attention to Io. And that's incredibly shitty, by the way, because
she's insane.
She's awesome.
She's an incredible talent, and she's also the champion throughout all of this. So that's why I feel like, with all of that being said, and the fact that, let's be honest, Bianca is a safe answer when it comes to this. Rhea is an even safer answer when it comes to this. Io has still really yet to show what she can do as a champion, have a long, healthy title run. And I want to see that out of her. So I'm giving this to Io.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, Cap. I'm also gonna say Io because for all the same reasons that you said, but also like if you noticed, Bianca and Rhea are so focused on each other that they're like you said, they're just kind of pushing Io off to the side, and that's the champion. That's the whole reason you want this match in the first place, right? So it's why are you ignoring her? And I think, if I had to guess, that's gonna be their downfall. Is they're gonna be so focused on each other that they underestimate Io, and she takes advantage of that, and she winds up winning.
100%. Plus, also, let's point this out. Rhea has never beaten Io.
Nope. She has never once beaten Io Sky. Or Shirai, whatever you want to call her.
Both work.
Got.
So I have an extra point, but I never had a winner in mind. I'm gonna swing with you guys because I can't choose.
You'll go Io?
I honestly think Rhea's just there because they're noticing that fans aren't really behind Bianca anymore. She's hitting into the Sasha Banks category it's the Sasha Banks Charlotte category. You can name multiple people we need to see something else. There's something different. It's the same character. That's why I don't like Sasha. That's why I don't like Sasha Banks at the time, because it was the same plain character for 5 years.
Bro, she's in a completely different company playing the same character.
Charlotte's never changed from the character. We've just continued the 50, 60 year time frame of just having Ric Flair on TV.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right.
So wait, what was the extra?
What was
point?
the bonus point?
Yeah, you said you had a bonus.
Extra point is, I agree with Dom on a previous extra point. There is going to be a portray. There is going to be an attack, but it's not going to be Bianca going after Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill is going to stop Bianca because there's only one true heel out of the two, and I don't think she can play it. I don't think Bianca Belair can play a heel.
So I put Jade interferes.
Jade interferes.
Okay.
That would be interesting.
We're all EO.
All right. And then on to our final match so far of the WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
The Undisputed Championship match between Cody Rhodes and John Cena.
Yeah. The prototype.
Cena.
Homelander versus Peacemaker.
Had you asked me the day after Elimination Chamber which person was going to win this match, without hesitation, I would have said John Cena. Without hesitation. After everything that we have discussed, after, you know, even the conversation we had earlier on in this exact episode, I truly don't know which I genuinely feel like either one of them would be walking out of WrestleMania with the title. And I wouldn't be mad at either one of them. But I struggle to just immediately say John. Because I don't feel like I feel like this heel turn is being a little overinflated in how good it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's safe. It's been too safe.
Yeah.
For me. And to be honest with you, Cody has been doing the brunt of the work on this. We're not even going to talk about, you know, The Rock being involved in this at all, because The Rock hasn't even been mentioned since Elimination Chamber.
Cody's been doing the brunt of the work for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Cody has been doing.
And he's only been a title holder for one of them.
When it comes to this main event, Cody has been doing all the work, basically. Or most of the work. And people have been losing their minds because they have been in love with this heel John Cena and his promos and, you know, saying we're like abusive, we're the abusive partners in a relationship and blah, blah, blah. Most of it has come out to me personally as I'm a 48-year-old man in jean shorts who's really insecure about
Wrestling is Cool podcast. I want to challenge. I challenge you on the basis of John Cena's heel turn.
Dude.
I'm still waiting for it.
It was just the one guy, and he's being disputed by his buddy. I think you're good.
Yeah, I saw the clip you were talking about. They fucking...
Yeah. I don't care. I want to roast them too on it.
Unified on this, as even we are on this.
Yeah. But, all right, so who's your prediction, Cap?
Here's the thing.
Flip a coin.
I think that John, before this year is over, is going to be Universal Champion.
Undisputed.
Before this year ends, John Cena will hold the WWE Championship. I do not think it should be at WrestleMania, though.
So you're going to Cody.
I'm going to say tentatively. I'm going to tentatively give it to Cody.
All right.
The word is tentative, by the way.
Tentative, whatever.
All right.
All right, Don. Since you're in the mood to correct me, how about you give your prediction next?
Yeah, I will. I'm still gonna say John Cena.
Okay.
I've been saying it since Elimination Chamber. I'm sticking to my guns on this one. Honestly, if you want this heel turn to have any kind of credibility, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's good, whether you think it's bad, I'm not here to fucking contemplate it because I really think it's been overglazed and fucking overrated. But that's besides the point. If you want this heel turn to mean anything, he needs to win.
Yeah.
By any means necessary. Whether that means he cheats, The Rock gets involved, somebody else gets involved. Because now
Scott gets involved.
Like fucking Scott shows up and like kicks Cody in the nuts or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, John Cena needs to win. And if he doesn't, to me, then this heel turn was for absolutely nothing. Because you got to think about it this way. He said himself, he's done by the end of this year. By December of 2025, he is fully retired, done. You can't have John Cena retire as a heel, in my opinion.
No.
He needs to retire a babyface. So you really only have April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. You got 8 months from when he wins this title for him to turn around and realize he was wrong and
Have a redemption.
have that redemption babyface moment, which probably, in my opinion, will culminate with him versus The Rock one last time.
Yeah.
Or him versus Punk with Paul Heyman.
No.
Because Punk can turn heel with Heyman.
No. That's who he's probably going to, in my opinion, who he's going to lose the title to. But his final match before he leaves the WWE, in my opinion, probably should be, if it's not putting over someone young, should be The Rock.
All right.
Just because of their history alone.
All right.
Can I ask this question before we continue?
Hit me.
Is there a way for John to beat Cody and Cody not look weak?
Absolutely.
Yes. Cody's not going to look weak no matter what.
He doesn't have to look weak. All Cena has to do is cheat. He's a heel.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind this. You want John to win the record.
Yeah.
But is it more important that A, he breaks the record, or B, that you have solidified Cody as the next face of this company going into the future?
But that's what I'm saying. If you have Cena cheat to win, right? Whether, like I said, he uses The Rock, he does like an old school Cena thing where he busts out the brass knuckles that he was hiding in his jorts while the ref isn't paying attention. Anything like that. He's still protected. You know, because it's not like he ate a pin to eat a pin. You know, it's not like, you know what I mean? Or it somehow becomes a triple threat and then Punk. See, I'm still fucking in conspiracy land. It somehow becomes a triple threat on Friday. And in that time, because for all we know, they could fucking add Randy Orton to the mix. And it's fucking Randy Orton. I just thought of that. Is Randy Orton, Cena, and Cody, and Cena pins Randy.
You know what's crazy about that is that it makes perfect. Randy isn't that far fetched.
No, especially now without KO.
Yeah.
So that's entirely possible. But the way I see it, if it stays a singles match, Cena has to win dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will protect Cody. At least this way he didn't just eat an AA and look at the lights. You know, at least it's like, you know, he got punched in the nuts with brass knuckles. No one's getting up from that.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
You're a goddamn Saiyan if you...
For real.
If you can that.
Or Sullivan.
Scott, who do you... Yeah.
Scott.
John Cena.
Right.
I mean, he deserves number 17. It hasn't really been talked that much, but I feel like at one point you can't just have it as a tie.
No.
You just can't.
He has to take that title at that point.
And if anybody deserves it definitely
It's Cena.
deserves. It's definitely Cena, the number one sale merchandise selling. Because I mean, even though it was back then, I don't think Ric Flair, even in this day and age, Ric Flair wouldn't have sold them that much merch.
He wasn't
if he was as
big
popular
merch
as he
guy.
was back then. No merch would have been sold. And John Cena helped his company way more
If you
because
take
Ric Flair wasn't even the best. Ric Flair, even though 16 times, he was never the face. It was Hogan.
Well, Ric Flair was across several different companies too.
You gotta, his world titles also include WCW.
It was WWE back when they were WWF.
Oh, then that's kind of weak.
No, but it's
And
because
the NWA.
Because WWE owns all those companies, so the world titles are still relevant.
They're still his.
It's Cena did it all in one company.
Yeah.
I agree that John should break the record. I'm not going to get into this minutia of, oh, well, technically WWE wasn't WWE at that point.
If you really think about it, Flair had like 20 plus world title wins because
it's like
the amount of times because they would change titles on house shows and have it revoked the next day.
Yeah. We're not even touching the stuff with WCCW.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like it's like the same argument that people try to have with the Yankees of like, oh well, technically, if you think about it, they only got like
Yeah.
3 titles or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
they got
Yeah.
27. Grow up.
Yeah,
Like,
but they've only
titles.
been around for fucking 175 years. So
But who's counting?
Yeah, the stadium was created in 1923. Good luck on that.
Yeah. So
I'm exaggerating,
I'm
asshole. You know
yeah.
that.
No.
Uh,
102 years. Excuse me.
Francis,
I'm going with John Cena. Same reasons you guys say.
No, Yankees been around for longer. They just didn't have a stadium until 23.
All right,
doesn't
whatever.
matter.
Yeah. We don't have. You don't have Cena turn heel and like have it lead to nothing.
Exactly.
Also,
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. Also, to go back to what we've been saying all throughout the card tonight about long-term storytelling, when he picks this up, it'll be 20 years, not to the day, mind you, but still the 20-year anniversary of when he picked up his first one. So it's a nice round number to cap things off.
Hmm. And you know what WWE loves? Round numbers.
Because they're all divisible by 2. I can
Round
count to 4.
circular
I can
numbers.
good at math.
Here's the thing, man. Y'all make very valid points. I am sticking with my answer, but
Yeah.
I do
That's fine.
feel
I'm
like
not trying to change your mind.
he
Nah,
is
we're not.
going to be champion by the
Yeah.
end of this.
Nah, it's
By
okay.
the end of this year, he will have broken the record.
Yeah.
I can, based on the performance that I have seen so far, I cannot safely give it to John.
Well,
They
either
might
way,
not be able.
here's-
They might not change your mind, but I'm trying to change your mind.
Oh, he's got the manga kill shut and grind.
Oh,
You're an idiot.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that didn't work.
Anyway,
So we have our results, gentlemen.
We have our results. We have our predictions. Now all that is left is for us to sit there and watch 18 hours of wrestling content.
God help us all.
oh, I'm so fucking ready.
God help us all.
Yeah.
And by next week, we will have a winner announced for this whole
Yes.
wrestling calendar year.
That's true. We will have a winner announced
push
for the
champion.
wrestling year. And we will technically we will be in a new season of the push.
WrestleMania is the season finale for WWE.
Which means
So to
that
speak.
technically this was our season finale. So
Huh.
Nah,
you know,
we go yearly. We don't follow WWE.
basically. But anyway, folks, we want to thank you for watching the stream tonight. We know it was a longer one than our usual, but as you can see, there was a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
If you did stick around, if you enjoy what we do here, please subscribe to us here on Twitch and be sure to follow us on YouTube as well, where we usually have our Twitch vlogs up the very next day. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well, at The Push Wrestling, for daily wrestling content. And that is everything I can think of at the moment.
Nice plug.
So for all of us here at The Push, my name is Cap.
I'm Dom.
Got Dash.
And I'm Francis.
Enjoy WrestleMania, folks, and ring that bell for me, Dom.